Can one really sell their souls to the devil? Do you own it? Does it belong to you? Is it something that you have to sell? And if so, is it gone forever? Well, looks like, in history, there have been a few stories, or some would call folklore, in other cases, testimonies of people who have done such. And let's break it down and see what it's really about.
On more than one occasion, people have asked me, why would a pastor write a book on rock music? Rock music is evil. And these people have sold their souls to the devil. Number one, you can't sell your soul to the devil. Your soul is not yours to sell. The Bible says your soul belongs to God. Even if you open your heart to evil, if you call on Jesus Christ, he can forgive you and break any so-called deal that you had with the devil.
Now, one of the most popular answers to such a question will be the following. This was asked to a psychology major who goes by the name of Iris Morocco. She was asked, what does it mean to sell your soul? I think this was in the context of whether you could sell your soul to the Illuminati, say you in the music industry. She says, selling your soul means compromising your true self in exchange for anything superficial. Your soul is all you have even after you die, because energy does not die, it is only transferred. The Illuminati may or may not exist. In brackets, she doesn't know and she doesn't care if they exist. Then she goes on to say, but whether it does or not, I believe people sell their souls every day. You sell your soul when you pretend to be someone you're not for the sake of the comforts of others. You sell your soul when you lie. Anytime you aren't being your true self, you're selling your soul. Period. Well, I tend to agree with this narrative of selling your soul to a certain extent, and some people also say it's when you sell your mind, will, and emotions, because that's what your soul is made of, right? So basically, selling your soul to the devil is doing something that you are morally against, but you do it in most cases for things like money or love. Well, that's the one part. So what's the other part? What's the more sinister or the darker side of selling your soul? I'm going to be introducing you to this other side. So over the years, there have been various depictions of people selling their souls in popular culture, literature, TV, the media, and so forth. Some of them from famous shows, TV shows like Supernatural, Charmed, movies like The Ghost Rider, and so forth.
Many years ago, I named my alter ego Sasha, and it's something that stuck.
Beyonce isn't the only diva with an ultra diva alter ego. Mariah Carey recently revived her bad girl alter ego, Bianca. Last April, she brought Bianca back, posting 2 pictures of herself in character that were labeled #BiancaReturn. Bianca first came to our attention in Mariah's 1999 Heartbreaker video, fighting with the real Carey and trying to steal her boyfriend. When Justin Bieber sings, he's Justin, or even the Biebs if you really want to go that far back. But when he raps and MCs, he does so as his alter ego, Shoddy Mane. Shoddy Mane wears adorable dark rimmed glasses and has skills with rhymes. Eminem has never been shy about sharing his ultra-violent alter ego, Slim Shady. Go ahead and insert your own real Slim Shady joke right here. We'll wait for you to stand up. The character and his iconic song will never leave our brains. David Bowie created his iconic alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, way back in 1972 when he released the concept album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. The character's unique signature look, which included a red mullet and lots of glitter, became utterly iconic.
Well, some people also know about this occurrence from things like the Faustian bargain or Robert Johnson, who was the rock star that is said to have sold his soul. So starting with Faust. Somewhere in between the 14th and 15th century, there was a German doctor called Johann Faust, of which legends were written about him afterwards. So Faust is unsatisfied with his life as a scholar and becomes depressed. After an attempt to take his own life, he calls on the devil for further knowledge and magic powers with which to indulge all pleasure and knowledge of the world. In response, the devil's representative, Mephistopheles, appears. He makes a bargain with Faust. Mephistopheles will serve Faust with his magic powers for a set number of years, but at the end of the term, the devil will claim Faust's soul, and Faust will be eternally enslaved. During the term of the bargain, Faust makes use of Mephistopheles in various ways. In Goethe's drama, the many subsequent versions of the story, Mephistopheles helps Faust seduce a young woman, an innocent young woman, who's often named Gretchen. Well, the story goes on to say that Faust used this young woman and they had an illegitimate child, of which afterwards she was kind of, kicked out from her family, and then she was depressed and she had died. She had died by killing herself, as well as the kid, I believe. And Faust, in the end, himself dies and is dragged off to hell. Well, this is folklore in Germany, but also derived from true story. The second story is about a guitar or blues player. This one is quite famous. His name was Robert Johnson. He was from Mississippi. So the story goes, the guy loved playing the guitar, but he was not talented at all. His music was basically very bad. In fact, many a time he would get kicked out of little bars and pubs because he was just making so much noise with the guitar. So he said that one day he left the town for about 2 months or so. And then on his return, he had come back and he was a master blues player. So the story goes that he went to the crossroads, some crossroads in Mississippi, and at exactly midnight, he had made a deal with the devil. So the story goes that one day he left and someone directed him to a particular crossroads, and that at exactly midnight he should make a deal with the devil. So by going there, we're not sure what he had said, but apparently some figure appeared to him, took his guitar, tuned it, played a few songs, and gave it back to him. And Johnson was suddenly and instantly talented, and he could play all types of blues songs. But as you follow Johnson's career, it's interesting to find out that the song titles of his songs were mainly about the devil coming back and dragging him off to hell and him dying and so forth. He in fact also admitted to some of his closer friends that he had sold his soul. Johnson died at the age of 29, I believe, just after releasing 29 or 30 songs. So it seems to me like from these accounts that I've just spoken about, these people, it could be scholars, musicians, and so forth, tend to get some kind of supernatural help for the things that they want to do. It doesn't just have to be someone who wants to play the guitar. It could be a scholar who wants to write a book, and then they need a muse. They need some type of help. So as opposed to saying, you can sell your soul to the devil, I tend to believe it's more about bargaining and making a deal, because the soul is something that cannot be sold if you do not own it. Hence, we have a lot of these celebrities like Eminem, for example, whose name is Marshall Mathers, but also goes by the name Slim Shady. When he first came out as a rapper, he was called Slim Shady, and his lyrics were very offensive and obscene, just on another level. But as he grew older, more of his music became settled down, and the tone kind of changed. Same thing with Tupac Shakur. When he was Tupac, then he became Machiavelli, Beyonce, Sasa Fierce, and so forth. It seems to me these people have made a deal with the devil. Let Eminem tell you in his own words if you want. There's a song called My Darling. You could check it out yourself. He basically explains the whole scenario and situation between him and the devil. Well, I'm not going to delve much into that.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage, so he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
And you please bless us with a verse.
Enter Roman. Waiting.
Dun, 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 dun.
What up?
What up, Roman?
What up? What up?
So I believe one cannot sell their souls to the devil, but you can make a deal or a bargain with him. And because the devil is not omnipresent, he cannot be everywhere at once. He will probably send one of his inferior, low-level spirits to come and, see what is it that you want, which is a very bad, bad, bad idea. So, in my experience, from what I've seen, it basically goes like this. Somebody wants something, usually it's maybe love, some type of relationship with someone, wanting someone's wife or husband, or just wanting someone to fall in love with them. Second thing is usually money. Obviously, people are always in search of money. Thirdly, people usually want things like fame, and sometimes they are unknowingly fall into these types of things. So it will usually happen in one of two ways. One of the ways would be, you just meeting a stranger who would come at the worst time in your life when you're going through some of the worst things, when you're going through a very rough patch and a dark situation, and this stranger seemingly just wants to help you out of the blues. Now, in some cases, that can be a good thing, but usually this comes with a feeling of awkwardness, some strange kind of feeling, and this stranger there'd be something off about them. They'd offer you help, and then you'd maybe exchange contacts, and then from there, they'd maybe offer you help again, and then maybe invite you somewhere and tell you, you know what, I can't keep on helping you. Let me show you how to make your own help, how to get your own help, sorry. And in some cases, it could be a friend referring you to some shaman, depending what language you speak. It could be a Inyanga, a witch doctor, a Sangoma, a white garment priest, a red garment priest, black garment priest, sometimes even a so-called prophet of God, all types of things. And these people usually live in very, bad parts of town, or where they live looks very impoverished, dirty, and so forth, yet they claim they can help you. And then you'd be asked to maybe bring something. You'd always be asked to offer something. On a piece of paper, write your name or write the names of people that you know, your loved ones, or bring someone's piece of clothing, hair, underwear, or food, or eggs, or break an egg, but you will be asked to do something. Then, yeah, in those kinds of cases, once you accept what's been given to you, after you giving something as well yourself, then you'd be given the help. Sometimes it might come in a form of a stick, something like a little pet. You might be given food, but it's usually something that seemingly seems harmless, And then you'd also be told, to basically like keep it a secret from other people, or don't say if you're married, for example, you shouldn't let your spouse see it, for example, or keep it away from sunlight. You keep it under your bed or in a secret room, something of that sort. And then there'd be maybe a week or two that would go by, a few days, depending, sometimes even months, and you start seeing the results of what you want, whether it's the money, whether it's the job, or anything like that. It seemingly starts getting favor without any consequences, without anything going wrong. But then that's just the first phase of it. So the number of consequences that take place could be a lot, but the most common ones are definitely sickness, having a sickly spouse, loss of riches, and death itself. So you may ask yourself, what's happening here? It's just basically not so much of selling your soul, but a pact, a deal, a contract, just like anything else. And the use of this can be seen in a lot of pop culture as well. It's basically the help of little minute people. In some places can be called different words by different names as well. Gnomes, goblins, and so forth. Another interesting thing to look at would be magician posters. Look at any poster of a magician, whether it could be from someone like Harry Houdini to our common magicians like David Copperfield and so forth. Most of the time on their posters, they'll always be in the corner, or if not all over the place, a little, what have you, a demon of some sort with horns and a pitchfork, but some kind of creature around it. This should also be an indication that this is what these people use to help them do the so-called magic tricks. Over here, we do have a few signs to know whether someone or if you yourself has been involved in these type of things. You'll hear stories of people having very, very vivid sex in dreams, having secret rooms in their houses, night terrors or nightmares, disability in the family, zombie-like type of disability, chronic barrenness, not having any kids, dead spouses or family members with unexplained forms of death, missing personal items, could be weird sexual behavior or practices, loss of undergarments, sanitary pads, money everywhere in the house, even in unusual places. Say if you're to visit someone like a friend and so forth, and there's just money in the cupboards here and there. Hallucinations, even in daytime, having not been on any drug or any mind altering thing. Mostly seeing people or snakes and the sort. Any activity that has to be with graveyards, cemeteries, mortuaries. In fact, there is a story that Bob Marley, the famous reggae singer, when him and his band would practice, sometimes they would practice their songs at the cemetery. And the reasoning behind this was they wanted to overcome stage fright, so therefore going somewhere scary to practice their songs was what made sense. Well, that doesn't really make sense, to be honest. And let's see what else on the list have we missed. Visions or dreams of seeing very short or small old people. Um, that's basically it. So in further videos, I'm going to go deeper into this stuff. But as to answer this question, one cannot sell their soul to the devil. The devil cannot own your soul. Although you can make a pact and some aspects of your life may be controlled. Thank you.